I'm Sarah, and my company is called Fiiba. I want to begin by telling you what you need to be a next-gen material developer, okay? You need to be able to scale. You need to hit price points that the market can handle. You need to be able to have market fit, so you need to be able to produce quality material consistently, and you need to be able to have impact. And the reason that we're here today developing our fiber and material is that we don't think anybody other than us can do this. So what's fashion's problem? You might think of fashion as a beautiful industry, and it is. I've been in love with it for many decades. But it's also a really dirty one. 2 to 8% of global emissions. Some people even quote 10. Isn't that insane? And a fifth of global plastic use. And brands are under pressure to act now. You know, we've heard about sustainable fashion for a while, but actually mandatory legislation is coming in down the pipeline between 2026 and 2030, which is going to force brands to act around sustainability. And there are going to be big fines if they don't. Also, consumer pressure. 67% of consumers now cite material sustainability as a driver of purchase, according to Boston Consulting Group. So what's wrong with what we've got at the moment? Well, cotton and viscose, where do I begin? I'm always blown away when I see these stats, even though I've seen them a million times. 3 to 7 years of your drinking water to make one cotton t-shirt. That is insane. 300 million trees are deforested every year to make fashion. 16% of global insecticides, which then goes into water streams, causes birth defects, causes health issues for local populations. And meanwhile, we're using land to grow cotton for fashion when local populations are starving. It doesn't feel right. And we think that there needs to be an alternative. So this is the founders of my company, me and my colleague Varun. My background is 2 decades in the fashion industry as a founder, as a consultant to big brands, and as a material innovator. My colleague Varun comes way from a different place. He is an agricultural impact founder with expertise in decentralized supply chains, and he's a Forbes 30 under 30 in manufacturing. And what we've created is 2 groundbreaking fabrics, 1 cotton replacement and 1 viscose replacement, both made from banana waste. Why banana waste? Well, here's a fun fact for you. We can use it at your next quiz night. The banana plant only fruits once, ever. Then the tree is chopped down and burned. That's 150 million tons of waste discarded every year. You could make enough of our fabric to go to the moon and back 10 times with that waste. And thanks to our unique process and technology, our carbon footprint is 1/10 of that of organic cotton or viscose. Our quality is consistent, which none of our competitors have been able to achieve. And our market price is 40 to 60% below our next direct competitor. Here's a look at our supply chain. I can't take you through this in detail because we don't have time today, but what I can tell you is that wherever you see the name Fiiba, that is where we intervene. Firstly, with our brilliant network of tree waste supply coming from my co-founder's previous business. Secondly, with retting technology. Thirdly, with solar drying technology. And finally, with our feedback loop with brands that we have to be able to get absolute perfect market fit. And the brands, as I said, they're saying what they've got is on the market at the moment is too expensive, it's a poor market fit, it can't scale, and it's not actually very sustainable. Well, we've proved with our first pilot that we can do something different. There are multiple competitive advantages we have, and I'd love to talk about them later, but what I'll say for now is we've got a paid pilot in the pipeline with Kering, along with another 19 pilots. We're currently raising, our round is now 50% oversubscribed, but we've extended it. Hooray! And minus 3 seconds.
Okay, well done. Thank you very much indeed for our very first pitch. If you
Speed pitch at the end.
Yeah, well done. Stay with us. Okay, do get your questions in. You can scan the QR code that you see on the screen. You can enter the code 7608. I'm going to ask you to stay with us.
It's now.
Don't leave us yet. Okay.
Which is the lucky side that gets the piece of fabric to feel?
Oh, hands up and see who wants that.
Who wants to be lucky? I'm going to go over here first. You can see that it's perfect, consistent quality. How soft is it? How soft is it?
It's very soft.
Good work. Okay, well, listen, while we're waiting for the first question to come in, let me start you off with one.
Sure thing.
And well done on a brilliant first pitch and for kicking us off. What gives you the confidence that a model like Fiiba's can actually scale?
It's a very large question to answer in 4 minutes, but a great question. It's actually our biggest risk. So we're doing R&D in collaboration with Cranfield University around the chemical finishing of our fibre. And we're also building machinery in order to create these processes more efficiently to be able to scale. And scaling is key for us in terms of focus because we don't want to be another brand that's just making a capsule collection here. We have a decentralized supply chain where we collect this waste from multiple farms. My co-founder has 3,500 farm contacts across India from his previous business. And that's also supported by the Indian government. It's supported by NGOs. And so we've got a really great infrastructure there. And what that means is that we are in a unique position to gather that waste and be able to then bring it to a centralised supply chain. We actually had a really big breakthrough on that in January when we went to meet Amul, who are a massive dairy company. Now you'd be thinking, why would you do that? It's because they actually have a really similar supply chain. So they're a multi-billion-dollar company, but they still collect milk from tiny farms around India. And we went and we're like, how do you make this work? And actually what opened up in front of us was their ecosystem of balance, of push and pull. And the questions I wanted to ask were not like, big market questions. It was like, what happens if someone waters down the milk? Because actually milk and fibre are similar. They've got a shelf life. They need to be transported in a certain way, et cetera, et cetera. And actually we've onboarded a director from Amul who has been there 40 years, scaled 2 offshoot companies under the Amul umbrella as well, who thinks they can replicate that model. So we're excited about that.
Brilliant stuff. Look, we've got a question in and I want to make sure we get to as many of them as possible from the audience, asking how does price compare to regular cotton and viscose?
Great question. So at the moment, our price is £12 a metre. You might know that regular cotton and viscose is somewhere, well, organic cotton is around kind of £6 a metre, viscose similar. We can reach price parity with cotton and viscose within 3 years. And that's important because at the moment, we're coming in a lot lower than our next-gen competitors. But of course, in order to be able to scale and meet the breadth of the market, we need to have price parity. We're beginning by targeting luxury brands. Within 3 years, we'll be able to have that price parity. And at which point, when our impact in carbon is 10x, and that's not to mention our impact in water, which is even bigger, there'll be a no-brainer whether you're going to choose us or choose cotton.
Okay, do we have any further questions then? We do. Is the fabric as easily dyeable as others? It seems like an important part of the fashion industry.
Yes.
Nice and quick, there you go. I can see the great USP. Is there any IP or patents?
Yeah, good question. Yes, there is. So there's an IP and patent. We're expecting our first in March 25. That will be around finishing and softening processes, enzymatic degumming for any technical people in the room, around being able to soften the material to make it brilliant for ready to wear. You might have noticed, if you've seen banana fibres or other types of fibres before, that a lot of those fibres are used in accessories, more canvasy things, quite stiff, whereas what we're doing, as you will see if you've been lucky enough to touch our fabric, it's very soft, very floaty. And so in order to do that, we're developing these techniques which are not only applicable to our material, but also licensable to the cotton industry too. We've also got some IP around machinery we're developing to be able to increase the efficiency as well as the safety of the retting process. Design's already underway there. And also we've got proprietary information about the drying conditions for this particular fibre because we are in this unique position having this solar drying capacity to be the only company who can really create consistent quality. And we know from having interviewed more than 50 brands that the reason that brands cannot sort of implement these kinds of new fibres at scale at the moment is that consistent quality isn't there, and the fashion industry will not accept that. We're the only people to have solved that problem.
Fantastic. We're out of time, but Sarah, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Thank you all.